My name is Emily Carter. I am 29 years old, and on my wedding day, my future husband told me he got another woman pregnant. It happened 10 minutes before I walked down the aisle. I was in a small room behind the church. White walls, a mirror with lights around it. My dress was already on. My hands were shaking, but I thought it was just nerves. My best friend Laura was fixing my hair. She kept smiling at me in the mirror. "You look perfect," she said. Someone knocked. I thought it was my dad. It was Daniel. He stepped inside and closed the door behind him. He didn't look at me right away. His suit was wrinkled. His hands were shaking. I smiled. "You're not supposed to see me yet." He didn't smile back. Laura looked at him, then at me. Something felt off. She slowly stepped out of the room without saying anything. Now it was just us. "What's wrong?" I asked. He still didn't look at me. "I need to tell you something before we do this." My stomach dropped. "What?" He finally looked up. His eyes were red. "She's pregnant." I didn't understand. "Who?" He swallowed. "Rachel. Rachel, my coworker, the one I introduced him to at the Christmas party." I just stared at him. "What are you saying?" He ran his hands through his hair. "It happened months ago. It didn't mean anything. I was going to tell you after the wedding. I thought, maybe we could fix it." "Fix what?" I asked. "She's keeping the baby." I felt my ears ringing. "You were going to marry me and tell me after?" He nodded. "I didn't want to lose you." I looked at him, really looked at him. The man I'd been with for 4 years. The man who helped me pick this dress. The man who told me he couldn't wait to have a family with me. "You already did," I said. Someone knocked again, louder this time. 5 minutes, a voice called. Daniel stepped closer. "Emily, please, we can still do this. It doesn't change how I feel about you." I took a step back. It changes everything. I didn't walk out right away. I stood there, frozen, my reflection staring back at me. Perfect dress, perfect makeup, perfect lie. Daniel kept talking. I barely heard him. "We'll figure it out. I'll support the child, but you're my future. I love you." Love? I opened the door and walked out. Laura grabbed my arm. "What happened?" "He got someone pregnant." Her face changed instantly. "Who?" "Rachel." She looked down for a second, then back at me. "I knew something was off," she said quietly. "What?" She hesitated. "Emily, a few months ago, I saw them together at a bar. They looked close." My chest tightened. "You didn't tell me." I thought I was wrong. I didn't want to ruin things if it was nothing. "Nothing." I laughed. It came out wrong. Dry. My dad was waiting near the entrance of the aisle. Guests were already seated. I could hear the music starting. He smiled when he saw me. "Ready?" I looked at him. My dad, the only person who never lied to me. "No," I said. The music stopped. People started whispering. Daniel came out behind me, his face pale. "Emily, don't do this here." "Where should I do it?" I asked. "At home? After the honeymoon?" He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "You're making a scene." I turned to him. "You made a child." Silence. Everyone heard that. Gasps, chairs moving. Rachel stood up from the 3rd row. I didn't even know she was invited. She looked straight at me, her hand on her stomach. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a mistake. This was planned. "You knew?" I asked Daniel. He didn't answer. I looked at Rachel. "You knew about the wedding?" She nodded slowly. "I told him to tell you," she said. My hand started shaking again. "You came here anyway." "I wanted him to choose," she said. I looked back at Daniel. He said nothing. That was his answer. I took off the ring, right there, in front of everyone. My fingers were stiff, but I forced it off. I placed it in his hand. "Choose now," I said. He looked at the ring, then at Rachel, then back at me. He couldn't say it, but he stepped back, toward her. That was enough. I nodded once. "Okay." I turned around and walked out of the church. No running, no crying, just walking. My dress dragged on the floor behind me. Outside, the air felt cold. I kept walking until I reached the parking lot. Then I sat on the curb. That's when Laura came running after me. She sat next to me without saying anything. A few minutes later, my dad joined us. He took off his jacket and placed it over my shoulders. "You did the right thing," he said. I nodded, but my hands were still shaking. My phone buzzed. A message, unknown number. It was a photo. Daniel, Rachel, ultrasound picture, and a text. "I'm sorry you had to find out like this." I stared at it for a long time. Then I deleted it. Weeks passed. I moved out of the apartment we shared. I quit my job. I couldn't sit in the same office where it all started. Then something unexpected happened. My old manager called me, from a different company. "I heard what happened," he said. "We have a position open. Better pay, new team, fresh start." I almost said no, then I said yes. 6 months later, I was in a different city. New apartment, new job, new people. No one knew my story. One evening, I ran into someone at a diner. His name was Mark. We started talking. Nothing special, just normal. No lies, no secrets, at least not yet. But this time, I didn't rush anything. I watched actions, not words, and I learned something simple. Trust is not what people say. It's what they do when you're not looking.